It is what it is. Yep. Welcome back, guys. Randy, what's going on?
What's happening, bro? Doing some last minute little highlighting of the notes so I'll make sure I got my key points ready, bro. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, a lot of
Stuff.
close games and blowout that I'm ashamed of, but we'll get to all that.
Oh, wait, blowout that you were ashamed of?
Cardinals, bro.
Oh,
Fuck,
yeah.
pissing me
my
off,
bad.
dude.
I forgot.
Cliff came in here, just rubbed his nutsack all over the Cardinals' face. So
Dude, it's that defense,
Whatever.
man. It's just the defense. Don't worry.
I hope.
Maybe.
It's also,
Maybe it's just the
also
defense.
Kyler, bro.
Maybe it's
which
just the
I
defense.
don't know if we're ready for that combo yet as Cardinal fans, but not you, but
Yeah.
the
Man,
state,
you keep talking me into these Cardinals picks, bro. Back-to-back weeks, man.
Yeah,
I'm just playing.
nah, it's tough, but we're both idiots with the freaking Thursday night game. I don't know what. We both had reasonings, I guess, but it just came down to who is the better team on paper, I feel like. So,
I mean, it's 13
It's
straight
brutal.
now for the Cowboys over the Giants. And I mentioned it in the preview. I was like, 12 straight. But I'm going to go with the Giants anyway. And yeah, I did it.
all the reasoning was pointing toward the
Not
Cowboys.
picking the
Yeah.
Giants, but I
We're
picked
a
them
bunch of
anyway.
idiots.
So next week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all my analysis in terms of picking the game, is which winner I want.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just going to pick the complete opposite team.
All right, cool.
Because, I mean, hey, if you're fading me every week, you're 4-0, baby. Let's
Yep.
go.
Dude.
But if you're picking my picks on Thursday night specifically, yeah, we're struggling right now.
Yeah, I don't really know. I thought I had reasoning for it, and then it's just like I don't know. The Giants were feeding neighbors and stuff like that, and it seemed like it could work, and they just couldn't punch
End
it in.
zone.
Yeah, they couldn't punch it in
5
any
for
of these
5 on
times,
field
bro.
goals,
So
bro.
it is what it is. We bounced back. I don't know what else do you want to touch on this game, because to me this game was just ugly in all aspects, and I don't know, not really too much to take away. Hope Neighbor's all right. It looked like he got knocked out cold on the sideline for a sec.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
did.
Hope he's good, but
I'm waiting to see when does F.it Daniel Jones come in and play, because I mean this offense is very conservative. We see a lot of like drags, we see a lot of hitches, we see a lot of checkdowns, we see a lot of conservative plays trying to protect Daniel Jones because he can turn the ball over, and he's not turning it over a lot right now, But I think at some point, being 1-3 and the season kind of looking the way it does, when do we see him just say F it? What do I have to lose? And just start slinging it and just ride with the turnovers, and not be so concerned with making mistakes and losing the game rather than just go try to win it. Go for it on 4th down when you're inside the 10-yard line and Wandale just doesn't catch the ball or whatever it was in the out route.
he's got to catch that, yeah.
It's just I like Wandale Robinson, but he also dropped that slant too on that 3rd down,
Yes.
So it's like they kind of shot themselves in the foot, but they play very conservative and not to lose. And I mean, at some point they got to just say F it and just start slinging it.
Yeah, you play when you play like not to lose. That's not a very good way into going about your business, because if you're playing tentative and stuff like that,
Yeah.
that just makes everyone so tense, and you can't really play free. I think the only guy that I see that's like every time he gets the ball in his hands is Neighbors, and I think he looks like the best rookie receiver so far.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So
For sure.
I think it's him, Brian Thomas, and
Yep.
Marvin. Those are the 3 that are probably.
Yeah, Rome hasn't really stood out
Yeah.
too much. And then the other one, Keon Coleman, I mean, I don't really see anything from him. He doesn't pass the eye test as a receiver that looks like a difference maker.
Yeah.
He doesn't really pass the eye test for that so far, rookie.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think with these rookie receivers, like we have high expectations of them because they're getting drafted high in the draft too, and then they're not coming out in here and being Jamar Chase as a rookie, and then we wonder what's wrong,
Yeah.
But they're just rookies too, They're
Yeah.
gonna need a year or two and then see what happens,
Yeah.
So,
Temper our expectations with these guys, because they're
Like
young and
Marvin.
they're Marvin's gonna be great. It's just
yeah,
I'll talk about the Cardinals later, but
we'll get into that.
do you want to touch on anything else from this game, or
Not really. I mean, the Cowboys just kind of big brothered the Giants, where it's like they've won 13 straight. They just went out and played their game, and the Giants just look scared to lose the game, and they end up losing the game.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see the Giants take more risks But I mean, that was their opportunity to get an upset and a win over the Cowboys if they were going to have one, and they didn't do it. So they're probably not going to do it again when they play them later in the year.
Yeah, this Cowboys team by that time will probably have some stuff figured out. And
Yeah.
if the Giants do, great. But it just looks like Daniel Jones is kind of he's playing to keep. Oh, my ESPN notification is going off. He's playing to like keep his job almost instead of just playing to win football games, which is just not what you want to see. But I'm good with that game. Let's go to the Bengals and Panthers game. This
Bengals, Panthers.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what you thought because you had the Bengals going in, or the Panthers, excuse me.
Initially, I picked the Bengals, but then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna ride with Andy, you know. And there was two sequences that changed the entire game. It was a 14-point swing where on the Panthers' opening drive, they had the ball at the 1 yard line and they couldn't get it in 4 tries. And then the other end of that is the Bengals right before the half swinging it out to Zach Moss, and he should have gotten tackled and short of the goal line, and then the time would have ran out, but he got it in the end zone after that weird slip, you know, and that was a 14-point swing that this game's a 10-point game, you know, it could have gone either way, really.
Yeah.
I'm not really impressed with Joe Burrow this season. Jamar Chase is same old Jamar Chase, the broken tackle play where he ends up taking it 60 yards or whatever it was. And it's just the 5 guys were hanging on pretty tough for the Bengals, but yeah, they just are the Panthers in their secondary. But yeah, the talent takes over at some point. And the one thing we're seeing with the Bengals is Joe's just checking it down, you know, and it's like, I don't know. There's just like a ton of receptions and targets to the backs. And I mean, we'll see if T. Higgins gets more involved and if they can have more of a functional offense as time goes by. But we're just seeing something's out of sync. And I know it's early in the season and they usually start slow, but something doesn't feel right about this offense this year.
Yeah, you're right. Something's just off with these guys. And I don't know. Going back to the Jamar Chase touchdown, did you see what the interviewer asked him after the game? He's like,
no.
Yo, do you have baby oil? Hey, Jamar, did you have baby oil on?
No,
and
he did
Jamar was like, bro, we can't be making jokes like that right now with the whole Diddy stuff.
Did he make a Diddy joke?
Yeah. My pen just broke on cam. That's so unfortunate.
I got you, bro.
Here. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
I'll spot you one.
Thank God.
It's the fidget toy, bro.
Let's
you
go.
have to do it while you're speaking.
I have to. It's just what I
helps you
function.
think.
I can't function otherwise, but now I got this pen now, so thank you.
Of course.
Chase Brown kind of stepped up in this game more. You saw that more like explosive side of him, which is like the perfect complement to Zach Moss. We talked about it in our previews. We talked about it going into the season. He had 2 touchdowns, and you could definitely see why different types of game scripts can kind of dictate what the Bengals want to do running the ball. And this is a game where it was a Chase Brown type of game. He by far way more explosive than Zach Moss just in terms of a runner. But he broke off some big runs today. He was good in the passing game too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great complement to each other.
Yeah, but
I think with I was watching that game, and with Chase Brown, there was so many handoffs that it felt like he was one tackler away from taking the distance.
Yes.
You know, especially against a defense like this. He was like freaking out after all these carries because he felt really fast this game, you know, and like I didn't realize that he ran a 4.3. We talked about it last review. I didn't realize that he was that fast, but he's a game or two away from breaking off one of these for like a 70-yard touchdown. But I think they complement each other perfectly with the way that Zach Moss, you can check the ball down to him, and he can wear down a defense, get you a first down, you know, and then you have Chase Brown who you can put in and hopefully get a big play or stretch the defense. So there's a lot that goes with the rotation that they have with going on there. I like the back rotation a lot, though.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson looked really great.
Yes.
Finally saw the fake punt. I was talking about that.
Yeah.
I was like, they've had Johnny Hecker, and they haven't been tapping into that. But they finally ran a fake punt. Didn't work.
Yeah.
It got broken up. Xavier Legette finally having a big game. Good for him. I love the way Andy Dalton's pushing the ball downfield. I think we really need to see Jonathan Brooks here with the Panthers because I think Hubbard looks good, but I think we need another guy to rotate with him, and I don't really like what Miles Sanders is providing for them. So Panthers, they are exactly who we've been talking about. Probably about 5-6 win team. Had a chance to take this game. Those goal line sequences kind of flipped it. But yeah, the Bengals though, they got some problems.
Xavier Legette looked good. I like. He's seems like such a good dude and like easygoing at interviews after the game and stuff. His
What was his celebration?
I
I was
don't
going
know,
to say,
bro.
what was his celebration, bro? Like he was going crazy.
I tried to watch the interview after, and he touched on it. I just don't know what he was saying because of the accent. So if some Southern person wants to translate what he said for me, that'd be great. But looked like he was just riding a bull or something down the sideline. I don't know what was going on.
He was doing, man. It would look goofy, and he dragged it out way too long, man.
Yeah. Hey, what is that? His first touchdown?
I think it was his first touchdown. Bro, I forgot the ball, too, bro.
Yeah.
He forgot the ball.
Dude just lost it and started riding bulls.
Lost his mind, bro.
Yeah. But
that was hilarious.
It was. I think Chuba Hubbard looks good, but I'm with you. They need another guy back there. Because that's just the meta for the NFL right now. Is just having two guys that you're confident in.
Yeah.
I think Jonathan Brooks is more of like a big play guy where he at any point you watch his tape at Texas, like he can take it 80 yards at any time. Kind of like Chase Brown. I do think he's better than Chase Brown, but that type of one play touchdown type of game to him. But Chuba, like, he's being efficient right now. Averaged almost 6 yards a carry. Went over 100 yards in this game. Andy is just he's serviceable. He's not bad. He's a serviceable guy.
He's a top 30. He's top 30 QB in the NFL probably.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Top 30.
Yeah, but
not 30.
Yeah, kill me, dude. But this Panthers team, 5-6 win team. You talked on it. It's Bengals avoided the 0-4 brutal start,
Barely.
but they don't look great. They don't look like they're threatening at all for this AFC at all. So
something looks wrong with them.
Yes.
Dude, one thing I had to that I did on my own, I was betting on different games and stuff like that. Bro, I had a parlay, a 5-leg parlay. I was like, F it, I'm just gonna put $1 on all these guys to score 2 touchdowns. I had Chuba Hubbard, I had George Kittle, I had Marvin, I had Roshan Johnson, and I had one other player. All of them scored only 1, bro. I was so heated.
Damn.
Dude, and Chuba had that one on the goal line too where he could have got it in twice. Oh man, I was so mad. I was like, bro, if this dollar hits me, bro, I'm gonna get 40K, bro. Yeah, they all scored, but they didn't get 2. That was crazy.
Damn.
Chuba was one of those guys, man. That would have been sick, bro. I wouldn't have been back at Mountainside for
40K?
probably like half a year at least.
Tell Sean I'm taking a hiatus and I'm out. Go to Turks and Caicos for a bit. Yeah, that's sick. One of those is gonna hit though.
Dude,
so
that's what I'm saying, bro. Shoot or shoot, man. That's what I say.
I think what's that? 99% of bettors stop before they hit the jackpot.
Yeah, 90% of gamblers win or quit right before they win big, bro.
Yep. Gotta stay strong.
Stay gambling.
Stay strong, guys. Fuck's sake. Well, I'm good with this game. Are you good with that one?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Let's go Broncos Jets. This fucking game. I'm gonna talk for about 2 minutes on it, and I'm gonna move on.
I thought it was hilarious, bro. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. What the fuck is this game, dude? I can't. I'll give it to the Jets. You can write this off if you're a Jets fan. It's like, dude, rain came weird, whatever.
Don't write it off.
But you shouldn't.
There's a lot more in the game.
That's how Jets fans are going to cope. But
yeah, they're coping right now.
Yeah, there were a ton of what the F moments with this Jets team.
Oh yeah, let's go.
It was kind of like what's going on? This Broncos team. I mean, they look like I don't even know what's the word. What's a word?
With what?
With their
Broncos?
defense. No, with their defense. It's like
defense or the Broncos.
The Broncos defense. They just are stingy. I think stingy is a pretty good word.
Stingy.
Just kind of
scrappy.
Scrappy, stingy, like
sneaky.
A bunch of S word. Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, dumb. Ruin both our picks this week, but I'm just. How do the Broncos win this game? Bo Nix had -7 passing yards in the first half on 7 completions.
Yep.
What? How do you win a game out like that? And he finished with 60 or something, 70. I don't even know, but he this game was just horrible from front to back. Brees Hall looked like shit. He couldn't catch a ball. I know it's raining out, but you're an NFL player.
Even running too.
Yeah, he didn't look great overall, which hurt
No.
me in fantasy. I might lose to your freaking dad because
Yo,
of it.
bro, you were talking all that smack in the preview, bro. You better be
Of
careful.
course,
Bro.
karma's a bitch, but it's all right. Braylon Allen should
Kenneth
have been.
Walker's trying to save you tonight.
I know, dude. You know, so
Watch
you
him not play.
watch. Yeah, he'll be on a touch or a snap count,
Snap
and they
count.
don't put that in the pregame stuff. He's like, yep, he's going. He's
Oh,
playing
man.
full 100% snap count. He's plays 10 snaps of offense probably, but we'll see how that goes tonight. But yeah, this Jets team just didn't look great. Rodgers looked frustrated. He had that towel over his head that you sent me
that
after the
was
game.
hilarious.
So funny.
Oh, that was so
What do you
funny.
think of this game? I'm just frustrated by this, but
Well, there was one sequence that really told the story of the Jets and what they've been this season, and it was the 1st and goal in the first half from the 1. And this is what I had in my notes. I had 1st and goal from the 1. Hall is stuffed. 2nd and goal. Hall is stuffed. They're from the 1-yard line.
mm-hmm.
And then they finally put Braylon Allen in,
Mm-hmm.
and they fake it to him.
Yep.
Incomplete pass.
Mm-hmm.
And they line up to run another play. False start.
Yep.
And they kick the field goal. That's literally their game.
It was a false start on the hard count too, right?
Yep.
And
Why are you hard counting?
why?
There's no, you're not like, so what, you get a free play. See, this is the thing I got with the Packers and Rodgers, and he's got all his guys. Why isn't it working? You know, it's like it's because now you have Nathaniel Hackett, his buddy, who's a yes man, who lets him do whatever he wants. So now you have this quarterback who's not being challenged and is just, oh yeah, I'm in a hard count. Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw all these fades. I'm gonna throw back shoulders all day. It's like, I don't care if it's raining. Drop it back. Put it in my hands. Don't give it to Braylon Allen. Why does that matter? Why
Yeah.
does identity on offense matter? You know, and it's like you got this co-OC offense. I mean, this is a perfect.
I want a co-OC counter from how many times Randy is going to say
'Cause
co-OC
I love
the entire
hating.
season.
I love hating on Rodgers, and he's making it real easy too right
Yeah.
now because this is him and his ego killing this game. Because
is.
even when they had the ball to go ahead and kick that last field goal, what does he do? He throws it 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Where is Braylon Allen? I'm watching the game. Their first possession of the game, it was pretty bad. They started the game really horribly.
Yes.
Literally the first play of the game, sacked. And then it's the third down, Garrett Wilson fumbles. You know,
Yeah.
it's like Garrett Wilson's not a factor. Mike Williams looked really good.
Yes, he did.
Mike Williams
Yep.
looked really good, but he's forcing the ball to Allen Lazard, and he's trying to throw all these jump balls, fades, back shoulders, these chemistry passes.
Yeah.
This is what he thinks. He thinks that he can outsmart a defense, so he sits there and he tries to do this. Braylon Allen didn't get on the field until the 3rd drive of the game.
Yeah.
He had 8 total carries. He was running the ball well. And in a game where it's raining, you saw the Broncos do what they had to do to win a game, and you saw the Jets and Rodgers' ego say, I'm going to win the game and have everyone tell me how great I am.
Yep.
Instead of handing the ball to your runner who's a great back and wins the game like this.
Yep.
Braylon Allen was running the ball great. And it's like they don't want to do that because there's a co-OC. There's not someone scheming up and having a game plan designed to win the game. You
Yeah.
know? And it's just, you're going to see this all season long where they're going to have games that they're supposed to win that they lose.
Yeah.
And Rodgers, he got caught too a couple times where he was looking slow and he was trying to escape in the pocket and run out, and he was getting caught from behind, or he was having to dodge out of bounds because he can't do the same stuff he's doing. And he just thinks he can get away with things that he's not getting away with. And I don't know if that's going to fix itself. This is like a last chance for him, and I don't think it's going to end well.
Yeah. I 100% agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
I also want to touch on Braylon Allen too because
Dude
you've
looks
been
good.
He looks great, and they're just
Talking about
not
him since
using
week
him.
1.
Yeah. You've been harping on the Jets to play him more and give him the football, but
That's why I picked him this game, is because I saw them giving him the ball last week, and I'm like, oh, they figured it out.
Yeah.
And then they go into a rain game, and they don't give him the ball.
I would.
This is the Braylon Allen game. Like, this is the game where you give him the ball.
This
You don't
is
give
a
him the ball when
Big
you're
10 football game in the NFL. This is a knockdown, drag out. Like, this is why you take Braylon Allen. This is why you have him on your team for games like this.
Yes.
Ugly games. Get
Yes.
freaking 4 yards of carry and move the chains and just stay ahead of the.
He was getting more than 4.
Yeah, bro. But like, even like, what I'm trying to say is like, this is what he's built for.
This is his type of game.
Big bruiser, physical back.
That's what he plays in.
Yeah, so I don't know. This just seemed like kind of like what we're talking about the Lions all season. Like, why would you get away from like what's working? And Braylon Allen's working, and they just keep going away from him. So,
But this is the thing you're going to see, and it's because you don't have an offensive play caller and an offensive coordinator designing a game plan and a scheme and a plan of attack each week. You have Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron's gonna change the play. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do, and he's gonna force the ball to his guys that he likes.
yeah.
And it's like now you're seeing Garrett Wilson. Where is he? You know, it's like he's just forcing the ball down Lazard, and he's throwing He's lucky that Mike Williams is as good as he is to make some of these catches. But if Mike Williams doesn't make a couple of those plays, this game probably is easily in the Broncos' hands, you know, because the Broncos were making plays and they were playing to win the game. They were running the ball with Javonte Williams. Javonte made some tough runs, you know, to keep them in this game and keep the chains moving. And Sean Payton, hey, the better coach won.
Yeah. Better coach did win. I'm good on this game. Do you want to
Yeah.
head over to
definitely out of there.
Jaguars and Texans? We spent way too long in that game.
I like to dump on Rodgers a little bit any chance I get.
No,
I got a good one right there.
I get it. We both took the Texans in this game,
Yeah.
but way closer of a game than either of us, I think, thought.
Thought Joe Mixon was going to play too.
Yeah, it's just this type of game makes me a little bit more shaky on the Texans going forward, but I think it was more good on the Jags. I'm curious to see what you think about this game because I have my thoughts too, but I'll let you have the floor.
So my thing with the Texans is they need to have Joe Mixon out there. They're running the ball with J.J. Taylor and cool special teamer, cool punt returner, cool maybe you throw him in for a gadget play. Running the ball straight up with him, Daria Gumbawale, and I forget Cam Akers.
Yeah.
You know, like these guys are not moving the needle for anything in the run game. You need to have at least Damian Pierce out there. They're down to their third string running back, and the Jags if you can be one-dimensional on offense, the Jags can make you one-dimensional. They have some guys who can get after you a little bit. I mean, we were spot on with the whole Nico Collins is going to eat this game. I thought he was going to get 200. He got 150 and 2 touchdowns, I think. Very spot on with that. The Jags are a weird team because they have a lot of big plays, but they don't score. And also, too, another thing that flipped it a little bit was the early muffed punt that got, I think it was taken for a touchdown, but then they made them go for it, and then they scored anyway. Brian Thomas looks legit.
He does look good.
He's their number one receiver. I think Tank Bigsby is their number one running back. I think ETN, I don't know what's up with him. You know, like I don't know if they know how to use him. He doesn't look like he has that like same speed and burst like he did. I'm going to go back and watch some of him at Clemson this week coming up because I'm kind of worried about his like if he's lost something or if he's just not running with the same aggression, you know? Because Tank Bigsby looks really good. And when he's getting his touches, he's making the most of them. So he's going to overtake ETN in that backfield pretty soon here. And Brian Thomas is the number one receiver. Christian Kirk had a good game. But with the Texans, it's like, where's Tank Dell? You know, Tank Dell is nowhere to be seen. He's MIA completely. They had a lot of drop picks in this game too. I think that we've seen that the secondary can get beat a little bit. There's a lot of young guys. I think this is a team that'll get better as the season goes on. I'm not really too concerned about them, but they do need Joe Mixon on the field because without him, they're not able to run the ball well. And if they're one-dimensional, you can't win the game by not running the ball. You have to be complimentary, and you have to be able to let this defense be fresh, have a lead, get after the quarterback, and they didn't do that this game.
Yeah.
They got behind early.
That Joe Mixon loss, I think, is very blatantly obvious, a huge loss for them because and it shows how reliant they are on him when they struggle like this because you're like, all right, they looked almost unstoppable on offense when Joe Mixon's there. Without him, though, they look like they struggle. So, yeah, I'm glad you touched on Tank Bigsby because that's what I was going to talk about.
Bigsby looks good.
He should get more carries than Travis every single week.
He's a tone setter, too.
He has, like, I don't know. He has, like, a certain way of running where I'm just like, dude, that does not look fun to tackle at all. But he can also take it. He can also take it, like, the distance, too. So it's
he didn't have that last year, though.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
This speed he has, like, in bursts is a second-year thing where he did something different with his training in the offseason because he looks more explosive than he did last year.
Yeah, and Nico Collins is, I think, the best receiver in the league through 4 weeks. I would say just the way that he looks on the field.
Justin Jefferson is
I
still
would,
doing his thing too.
yeah, dude.
I say Jefferson's doing his thing too.
Dude, I'm taking Nico Collins right now
With
as
Stroud,
the best receiver.
Nico and Stroud together.
They
maybe
just
the
have
best
some
tandem.
chem, bro. That they have insane chemistry, and
Yeah.
whenever shit hits the fan and Stroud's kind of off, like rolling right, he always seems to know where Nico's gonna be, and they just
Yep.
connect. And Nico, like we talked about every week, is a matchup problem for any corner because of one, his size, obviously, but two, he can move too. He doesn't
Catch radius, bro.
he has a crazy wingspan. So like you can
Dude's
just
massive.
there's a few times where Stroud somehow overthrew him. I was like, dude,
I know. That was blew my mind.
you're
bro.
throwing
I'm
the ball like 10 feet high. I'm like, okay, he's tall, but shit, Stroud, like he missed 2 touchdowns.
But that's where I'm like, he missed 2 touchdowns. So it's like this team's could get better as the season goes
Yeah.
on. I think once they get Joe back on the field mixing,
yeah,
and they start getting more on the same page with some of these, that's where I'm like, okay, this game was close, but it's like it's a long season though,
yeah. And Texans, say what you want about this game, they're 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just gonna keep teams like this are just gonna keep getting better, like you just said, over the course of the season.
Yeah.
The Jags are in shambles though. 0-4 is just. I want to look at the stats on any team that's finished above like 500 after going 0-4.
No,
It's probably not very high, but
I'm waiting to see if like there's any talk about Peterson getting fired. I mean, like the thing is that like he looked comfortable last week. I was trying to listen to some of his press conferences to see if like there was any indication that like they were like, oh yeah, dude, your job's not safe, but there was none of that, and they're having a lot of big plays. They're moving the ball, but they're not scoring, and that's execution. There's something up with Trevor too. He's thrown to the defense, and he's missing some throws that shouldn't be missing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of concerned about the outlook of this Jags team because there's a lot of weapons on the field that they're not making the most of right now.
yeah, I feel bad for Brian Thomas because with how dysfunctional this offense has been, he still looks semi-productive. I just
Yeah.
want to see him in like a fully functioning offense and just watch him eat because I don't know.
Man,
he
if the
just,
Chiefs had him right now, ooh.
bro, I'll talk about who I think the Chiefs could go after.
Oh,
when we get
Devontae
there,
ain't
bro.
going there.
No, I'm thinking about like Amari Cooper, bro. I was thinking
Ooh.
Amari Cooper.
I like that.
Yeah, I think that would be a great fit for that offense.
You're hoping
But-
with your fantasy team.
Dude, that's also part of it. I won't lie.
You got
But
Amari.
I got to get the Deshaun to Pat Mahomes upgrade would be legendary for my fantasy team. But
Yeah.
I'm good on that game. I'm done talking about them.
Me too.
I'll let you have the floor with this Rams-Bears team. Or game, excuse me.
All right, Rams, Bears. I mean, I think the Bears are kind of lucky the Rams were as banged up as they were.
I agree.
Good to see Swift being efficient as a player, having some big plays. Still struggling to get DJ Moore the ball. I think that Caleb was impressive that he stood in the pocket and made some plays. That was really nice to see. Hey, I think the Bears got the best punter in the league right now. That punter went crazy, bro. Some
You're
of the
talking
punts,
about the punter, bro.
yeah, I mean, that's all Bears fans are talking about right now. I think it's hilarious. I mean, he was putting in work, bro. I mean, I watched all the games, bro. I think he might be the best punter in the league right now, bro. I think the Bears got a guy, bro. They got a guy.
Let's go, dude. What about their number 1 overall pick?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm playing. The thing is, I think they should have won this game. They did what they should have done. Defense looked good. Jaquan Brisker had a really big game.
Yes.
I mean, the Bears' size on defense and athleticism really stood out, especially against a weaker unit that has a lot of practice squad players playing for them. Stafford, I was pretty impressed with him and his way that he stood tall in the pocket, made some really tough throws. His arm strength is crazy. Tutu Atwell is looking pretty good for him, too. I had to hook my dad up with him in fantasy because I was like,
Yeah.
Dad, you need a guy.
Thank God he didn't play him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he didn't play DeAndre Swift either, so you're lucky with that.
Thank God. Okay, but I didn't play Brian Thomas or Jordan Addison, so I don't want to hear it.
Oh, you had Addison too.
I had both of them on the bench, bro.
That's messed up.
Yes,
bro.
bro.
Why are you stashing all them?
And
You're
Khalil-
hogging for real.
Yeah, and Khalil Shakir got tackled on 2, and Amari
Yeah.
Cooper's 80-yard touchdown got called back. So I'm pretty pissed off if you can't
Yeah.
tell, but it's okay. Back to the Bears game.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that the whole thing is just like they won a game they should win. They're playing the Panthers next week. Did they just start to actually win the games they should win? And that's going to be the difference for this team and how their season goes, because their stretch of the season, the back end of it is tougher with all the divisional games where they're playing the Vikings twice, they're playing the Lions twice, they're playing the Packers twice. They're 2-2 right now. Should be 3-1. They're not. Jared Verse looked pretty good though.
Yeah, he did.
He kind of put in work on the left tackle, Braxton Jones. That's the thing with Braxton is he always struggled against like power rushers, and
He's blowing through.
Jared Verse is that. So
Yeah.
Jared Verse kind of handed it to him for a portion of the game.
They hit on him in the draft. He was a good pick. For
He
them.
looks good, and it's there's different types of plans of attack with rushing the passer, and they just kept collapsing the pocket on Caleb. And I was impressed with some of the ways that he stood in there and made some plays. But we just got to see more out of this pass game and consistency. Rome Odunze, not a factor whatsoever this entire game. DJ Moore, 22 yards and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, non-existent. Cole Kmet looking good, but we have a defense they should be able to beat up on next week, but they're not beating up on anybody right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that Panthers game next week might be a sneaky type of game that they might lose, because I think that defense is going to keep them in the game, right?
I think the defense will probably win that game, honestly.
But
Yeah.
they're going to have to put points up, and they put up 24 this game against a banged up Rams team, and it looked like they're just pulling teeth trying to get
Yep.
pretty much every yard they can. DeAndre
We got
Swift,
saved by penalties a lot in this game.
yeah, it was. I was going to say the officiating was a little interesting.
I don't think it was bad, honestly. I think it was valid, but they got saved by a lot of penalties in terms of key downs, the third downs, first downs they got. It's just penalties played a big factor in this game.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift had monster game. Thank God, like you said, your dad didn't play him against me this week. But
Yeah.
that's who they signed him to be, that type of guy. Out of the backfield, efficient runner. I don't know.
Yeah, he
Why?
might look like that next week too because of the defense they're going to be playing. But I mean, I don't against better defenses, he's not the same guy.
Yeah, but it was good to see him
Yeah,
do that this week. DJ Moore
Mhm.
looks
frustrated and hurt
Bro,
and banged up. He looks defeated.
he looks so sad to be on this Bears team.
I mean, I don't think he's sad to be in the Bears right now. I think that he's just really frustrated that they're missing so many big plays to him. There was a touchdown where he was
Yeah.
wide open and Caleb just sailed it, and
Yep.
it's like, damn, dude, he should have way more production this season than he's having right now, and it's just growing pains in the offense. I hope.
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 I'm good on this game if you want to.
Definitely good. Yeah, move on. Hope they win again next week, but they got games against the Panthers and Jags the next 2 weeks. So hey, 4-2.
Maybe.
I
Maybe.
hope.
Saints Falcons. What do you think about this game?
I'm actually more impressed with the Saints after watching the game. Honestly, I think that the Falcons are underwhelming, but I'm honestly very impressed with the Saints after watching this game. But I think they're missing a piece, and this is something I was kind of messing around with a little before the pod. I think they're gonna trade for Devontae Adams.
The Saints?
I think they're a piece away right now on offense from being like the best offense in the NFC potentially. I think this is
Whoa.
this is their opportunity right now. I think I like the way that the OC is using players. I think if they're gonna do anything ever with Derek Carr, right now is the time. I think that Shaheed looks really good. Chris Olave looks really good. I love the way they're using Taysom Hill. I think whenever they get inside the 10-yard line or 5-yard line, Taysom Hill is the QB. They try to sneak it twice in a row with Carr. He's not a short yardage guy. They need to be able to punch these in, and they did. But it really just kind of fluky things happen in this game. Shaheed tried to field a punt inside the 5,
Yeah.
and it gets muffed and touchdown. And then there's a screen pass that gets tipped up in the air, and it's a touchdown, and it's like, realistically, this game is 24-12. If with all the field goals that the Falcons
I
kick,
agree.
it's 24-12. And they went to Atlanta, and really, this defense is really impressing me right now. The way they're able to stop the run, these corners and the secondary, they're physical. They stick to receivers. They don't give up a lot of plays. I think that this was kind of a fluky game that we're going to look back on and be like, it's not indicative of the season. I think this offense, though, if they trade for a guy like Devontae, could be the best offense in the league. I think, at least in the NFC. Derek Carr is playing really good football right now, I believe. And I like a lot of what this OC is doing in terms of player utilization. He has a feel for getting certain guys the ball at certain times. And Shaheed looks really good, aside from the muff punt. So I think this Saints team, they're a piece away right now on offense. And like with the way the Eagles are looking banged up, the Niners are banged up, I don't think the Vikings are sustainable. And then the Packers have a lot of weakness in their depth in the skill positions. I think the Saints this year, if they're gonna do anything with Derek Carr, they need to trade for a guy like Devontae Adams to kind of put them over the top on offense. That's my take.
I don't necessarily agree with the best offense in the NFC.
I think
think when
there.
healthy the Eagles are, I would take the Eagles offense right now if AJ Brown, Devontae Smith fully healthy with Saquon. But
I don't like Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, but I think he is better than Derek Carr, and I'm taking Jalen Hurts to win a football game over Derek Carr. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, last week the Saints and Eagles played, and they were shutting. I know AJ Brown wasn't there, but they were shutting out the Eagles going into the fourth quarter, basically. And like this Saints defense is legit. Their secondary is legit. They're very veteran, and I think they're missing one receiver, a size guy on the outside to be able to actually put them over the top. So
yeah, because Olave's
they're
a
missing
true
something
two.
right now.
Olave is a true number 2 receiver.
And Shaheed and being an X factor in offense. Imagine
like
that they had Devontae with this offense.
I agree with that.
And it's Carr and Devontae.
Yeah, I mean,
it's his guy.
Maybe I could see. I know I see where you're getting at here, but I also agree with this game. Every break imaginable went to the Falcons, and like
it did. It's a very
fluky game. And I think when they played in the Superdome, the Saints kind of remember this game, and they're like, "We're gonna kick ass." And I expect
Kirk
Kamara.
Doesn't look good.
No, he doesn't look great, and he looks very just stationary. And I get it.
Yes.
He was never a guy that can get out the pocket and move, but he just looks like timid almost. I feel like that's the way to describe him. And I don't know what is going on with Algier. We touched on it. He's a better pure runner, but with Bijan, man, they just got to get him touches and more involved, because he looks like, I'm not going to say a bust, but for how highly they drafted him, you might look back on that and be like, they're giving Algier more carries. Bijan's not as efficient. You got Kyle Pitts, who
he's a show right now.
Not only
he's getting hit all the time too whenever he's getting the ball.
Not only is he literally got me 0 fantasy points. That's beside the point.
You got him in fantasy?
He is frustrating to watch, because it looks like he's just a semi truck when he's getting covered. There's no separation. I was listening to the PFF podcast, and they said he has a 0% separation rate through weeks 1 through 3. 0%.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I think I could probably get 1% more open than that guy. Holy shit.
Wait a minute.
Nah. Dude, I'm pissed.
Hey, scheme me up on a whip route.
Yeah, I'm running better routes than Kyle Pitts is running right now. He looks like freaking baby giraffe learning how to walk.
Oh man.
That's
I think
part of my frustrations with fantasy, but part of it is he doesn't look great. And I don't know if Kirk really trusts him. It looks like he has a way better rapport with Ray McLeod and
Darnell Mooney.
And
Mooney looking good.
Even London, he has I think Pitts right now is like the 4th option, which is insane to think about.
Behind a guy like Ray is alarming for sure.
Yes, but I don't know. I think this game is, like you said, they're a missed field goal away from losing this game, and the Saints go to 3-1.
I mean, they're a missed field goal, a muffed punt, and a pick six off of a tipped screen pass, which was a fluky volleyball up in the air type of weird
land
play.
Anywhere. Yeah, land anywhere. But
one thing I want to say about Bijan and Algier is that Algier is a better runner. I think it's very clear and obvious.
And we
touched on that, for sure. I think it's very clear and obvious right now. Algier is a better runner. You need to feed him carries. I think Bijan is not a bad player in space. I think that he needs to be more of like a Debo Samuel type. But even then, I don't think that he has that same type of play in him to where he has the toughness that even Debo has as a receiver.
Yeah, Debo.
So
Yeah.
I think that there's just a toughness lacking in his game. I don't know why. I don't know what it is with him. It's a mental thing. It's not a physical thing. Um, but I'm concerned with Kirk Cousins and the way he just stands in the pocket and gets stripped. It's like this is like four fumbles this season. I think I saw. And it's just like he's just standing in the pocket. He's just a sitting duck back there getting strip sacked, and this is gonna cost them games. I think they're fighting for the Panthers with the bottom of the division at the end of the season.
Okay.
I think they're gonna
Yeah.
be around like 7 wins,
7 wins.
6, 7.
I could see 7 wins.
I think that
that's realistic.
the wins versus the Saints and Eagles early in the season, we're gonna look back on and be like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
I think we're at the end of the season. We're gonna look at that.
Yeah. With everything we just mentioned, you talked about that went their way this game, and then
Took
you go
all
back
that
to
just to scrape out a win.
yeah, and then you go back to the Eagles game where they run it on third down or second down instead of throwing it
To
and
save
then
one.
yeah, and then throw it to Saquon. They could be 0-4 realistically right now. So
Realistically, yeah. And I mean, the Chiefs one could have flipped either way too, but the Chiefs don't look good.
yeah,
So it's like there's a lot of weirdness going on right now. But I think in terms of projecting forward, I think the Saints team is a piece away potentially on offense with the way their defense looks. And I think that the Falcons, this is going to be a game we look back on like, wow, we're surprised at that when it was just early season game.
I'm with you. Let's go to Eagles and Bucs now. Yeah,
Man.
this game just a dilapidated Eagles team just freaking throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Paris Campbell had a touchdown
Yeah.
after getting signed to the practice squad and then getting promoted and that whole crazy thing. I don't know if you saw the interview with him.
No, I didn't.
But they're basically asking him when Sirianni told him, "Hey, like we're gonna cut you, but then sign you back to the practice squad." He was basically like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." And then basically prayed about it and stuff like that. And now he got his opportunity and he scored today or that game, which is
Let's go.
pretty cool story. But
Very cool.
Cool story, bro. Eagles look like shit.
Cool story, bro.
But it's just
man.
for this Eagles team, I don't know. They just don't look fantastic.
They should have paid Reddick.
Yeah.
They should have just kept Hassan Reddick, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
I think they're missing that right now on defense and then offensively. It's just it's their injuries. We'll see when they all get healthy, but do they all get healthy at the right time? Time will tell.
Yeah.
Early season, though, they're kind of looking a little unstructured on offense with all the injuries.
I agree.
I mean, we talked about it in the preview. There ain't a lot to say about it. The
Yeah,
Bucs just walked all over them, and it was just injured Eagles team that struggled to do anything. Yeah. Saquon ripped off a couple runs, tried to fight him back, couldn't do it. Bucs receivers dominated a young secondary. Bucky Irving got into space a little bit.
Yep.
What else to say?
I'm with you, dude. I don't want to waste time because I do want to talk about this Vikings and Packers game.
Yes, for sure.
This game it didn't feel as close as the final score would suggest. The Packers had a little bit of a comeback in the fourth quarter where you're like, oh, maybe they have some life, and then all of a sudden just turnovers.
That pick at the end. That pick at the end sucked.
Yeah, the punch outs, all that.
Yeah, there was just 2 turnovers in the fourth quarter. You can't be turning the ball over like that and win the game. I think the one thing that really worked against them, the Vikings getting up early. They got up 21-0 like quick. And now it's like, okay, we can't run the ball. They could put up 40, so now you're having to get out of your game script. I think Josh Jacobs was running the ball really well against them, actually. I think the Packers had a game plan to be able to run the ball and attack this defense, but with the Vikings scoring quickly, it kind of got them out of what they wanted to do. But, Jaden Reed, Jordan Addison, ballers.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them are really good players, and I think Jordan Addison and Devontae Smith, those guys are the like modern day perfect number 2 receiver to complement a dominant receiver. Olave could be one of those guys too if they were to get someone like Adams, you know. So I think that receiver type is like the modern NFL perfect number two. And Addison's a good player, and I think he kind of took advantage of the Packers when Jair went out and they had to start putting in backups, you know. So I don't see what the Jair injury was. Um, we'll have to figure that out this week. But
How about right now?
yeah, go ahead and check
It's
it out right now.
a
Yeah, check out what the injury is, bro. Because I mean, they went when he went out, they just tore up those corners.
doesn't believe cornerback Jair Alexander has a long-term injury. Says a groin injury on practice on Thursday. Groins are weird though.
Yeah,
Groins are very
but
temperamental.
I think he went out in the game though. I think he went out of the game, and then they started attacking the corners. Is what I saw when I was watching.
Nah, he didn't play Sunday.
Yeah, Keyshawn Nixon got beat up this game by these two route running receivers and Kevin O'Connell. And one thing I'm watching with this Vikings defense is they make the QB move, they zone blitz, and when they blitz, they make the QB make a decision fast, and all of them they're playing zone, so they're all looking at the quarterback and they just read and react.
Yeah.
They're basically dictating to offenses what's going to happen, and they haven't gotten figured out yet. I think the Packers started to do it a little bit in the fourth quarter, but I do think that it was just the game would have been different if the Vikings didn't get up so quick, up so big early on in the game. The Vikings though, them and the Bears, they do this really good rush with their. I had a note on this. They do a really good job rushing with the QB with their D linemen because they'll even just do four and they attack the rules of offensive linemen. How they're always taught to the offensive linemen are taught to take the inside rusher first, and they're running the twists and stunts with blitzers, not just with four up front. You know, with a lot of these defenses like the Saints, they just rush four. You know, but the Vikings, they're lining up a bunch of guys in the line of scrimmage. They're dropping, they're twisting, they're sending heavy blitzes, but they attack a lot of the time with the inside rushers, and they just blast these linemen into each other, and then they just free up the edges to where there's just quick pressure. So they're scheming up rushes really well, and it's something the Bears do as well that I watch with Eberflus. So two defensive guys that are calling their defenses really well and getting pressure with the offensive or defensive linemen schematically, not just great players winning.
Yeah. Spagnuolo does that with the Chiefs too. They run a lot of different fronts up front. But this Packers team, Christian Watson went down with that ankle injury. Looks like he's headed to IR. I don't really
frustrating, dude.
Yeah, it's tough, but I don't really think that's a crazy loss for them because I don't think he's the most efficient guy.
I'm worried about their depth.
I do worry about especially Dontavian Wicks. He had 2 touchdowns today.
Drops though.
He has some weird drops where you're like, dude, you're like, okay, you made a drop. Everyone drops a pass. Justin Jefferson drops passes too, right? It's 2 or 3 times a game with Wicks where you're like, dude, this is a serious problem. It's kind of like a Deontay Johnson
thing.
In
the season.
It's kind of like a Deontay Johnson thing where you're like, dude, you can basically count on him for dropping a ball a game. And yeah, he has the tools and like the physical traits to be like a top tier receiver, but I don't know. I don't like them relying on him, especially now in an upgraded role with Watson out. But
I think we're seeing something with this Packers team that I think is going to cost them in later on in the season, whether it's like into the playoffs or in the playoffs. Kicking and special teams, red flags, and we're seeing red flags in terms of their depth of their skill position players. Not maybe at running back. I think running back they're fine, but their perimeter guys with corner and receiver, their depth is not. You don't want them on the field.
Yeah.
You know, their whole draft and develop mindset, I think, is going to hurt them in the long term in the playoffs when they do have to play better offenses. So, for now, they competed in a game that got away from them a little early. But the Vikings, I think this is something to where I think their defense may get figured out as the season goes on.
Yeah, and I think for Jordan Love throwing 3 picks and having a bunch of fumbles too, it's like for this to be a 31-29 game kind of says a lot of like, all right, they had 4 extra possessions if Jordan Love doesn't turn the ball over, if that Byron Murphy doesn't literally punch the ball out.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, that was sick. But I don't know, just kind of
very well coached, smart team in the
Yes,
Vikings.
yes.
But
Don't want to take anything away from the Vikings too bad, but I think this Packers team, if they just kind of limit turnovers, I think they could win this game based on that.
they started to figure it out in the second half. They made
So.
some adjustments. They got back to running the ball, and you started to see them hit some shots down the sideline where you don't want to attack this Vikings defense in the middle. You want to attack them outside. You want to make them tackle, and they started to do that in the second half and got some big plays. Just tested a little too much, turned the ball over.
Yeah. Want to move on to Steelers and Colts?
Yeah, let's do it.
Just touch on this real quick. This Steelers team is, I don't know. I picked the Colts this week. I think it was just a matter of time before they kind of broke out of that funk they were in offensively.
Hey, it just took a little something that no one expected, right?
Yeah, Steelers defense was probably the most formidable defense in the league other than the Vikings through the first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden the Colts go down.
The Steeler killer came in, bro.
Who's that?
You know who? The Steeler killer, Cool Joe.
Oh, yeah, Joe
Cool
Flacco.
Joe. Yeah.
Which, dude,
Joe Cool.
Joe Too Cool
Joe
is.
He came in, man.
He
He's
just
a Steeler
wonder.
killer, bro.
He really
That's what
is.
He did. He came in.
I don't know.
Josh Downs looked really good.
Say it again.
Josh Downs
Yes.
looked really good. He
Yes.
looked like an X factor for them
Yeah.
on offense. They got a
Yeah.
lot of pieces over there where they could have a very functional offense.
Yeah.
Josh Downs looked really good.
Jonathan Taylor. What happened with him? He got injured. What?
It was late in the game. He got banged up a little bit. I think it'll be fine, but I think in general though, this Colts team, it's I think we're gonna see something like what we saw with Joe with the Browns last year. Joe can come in and execute an offense, and he can sling it and give his guys a chance to make plays. But they have a lot of playmakers to get the ball to. So you have a guy that can run the ball, just like he had with the Browns and Nick Chubb, and he's got receivers that he can get the ball to. This team's going to be competent, I think, with or without Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll miss a game or two maybe.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson, though, has been hurt 4 of the 7 games he's played in the NFL, and that's just not a good sign for his longevity.
He just don't protect himself, man.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, what are you doing, like, throwing your body on the line? You have to – I know you're big, but you got to take care of yourself at the same time.
Extremely young as well.
It's just like – I don't care how young he is. His body is going to age way faster than he is if he keeps taking hits like this. And
it's a human body. It's not a machine.
Yeah.
It will break down over time after so many hits.
Exactly. And he's a unit, but still human.
For sure.
So
for sure.
I don't know.
The Steelers?
He looked fine on the sideline, so I don't really know. It was Steichen's decision, apparently.
He needs to sit out and let Joe kind of show him how to run an offense and be an efficient quarterback, I think. There was the 3 things, though, that really flipped this game for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Pickens, that fumble inside the 10-yard line was – you can't be doing that.
You can't
hold the ball that loosely. That fumble, the Justin trying to scramble back and then falling down, and then Colts just punching it out. That was a good play by the Colts, bad play by Fields. And then on the last drive to try to go ahead and tie it up or win it, snap hits Fields in the face and sets him up for 2nd and 20, and they're just toast after that. I think that there was some impressive play from this game from Justin. The Steelers, he one thing though is he just leaves clean pockets, and I'm like, it's frustrating. He steps up into pressure. He leaves clean pockets. There's something about his pocket presence that I think is not just him not trusting it, but he just doesn't have a feel for it. Like that internal clock isn't good, and his awareness in the pocket isn't the best. I think that's going to come to bite them over time, and it did a little bit this game. It's just there's a lot with Justin that where it's like you're missing a little bit of something with him to where if he didn't do some of the things he did this game, he probably wins it. And I think over the course of this season, the way he slides, he's trying to always draw flags and draw like, oh, he hit me while I was sliding. He slides late. He's getting hit in the head. He's going to get hurt. It's just there's certain things that he does that is very detrimental to his health and his game that's kind of holding him back a little bit. But I liked a lot of other players like Patterson looked good. Pickens looked good. Calvin Austin is starting to really get some confidence and make some plays.
Yeah.
Darnell Washington is fun to watch, man.
Dude,
I
you see him
like
hurdle that dude.
Oh yeah,
It's a big
he looked
old
like
man.
he looked like a Jordan logo
Yeah,
over him, bro.
Unreal. That dude's
Yeah.
like 6'7", 800 pounds.
He's one of my favorite players, man. I love Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
Dude's like young Mercedes Lewis out there.
Yeah.
But it's just I think there's a little bit missing with Justin that kind of hurt them this game. But
It's kind of
Colts got a lot of playmakers though. Yeah.
Sort of his career. There's something with Justin where it's like something's
mental.
not quite right with him.
It's a mental side.
Yeah. So I don't know. This Colts team got it done. Steelers were down big, but they clawed their way back in, which is a good sign for them as a team.
Those 2 fumbles though killed
killed them. Yeah, the fumbles killed them. Just win the turnover margin, usually win the game, and that's just
with that defense. They will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They'll be fine. But they're not built to. They're not a team that's built for trailing. You have to get up
shooting out or trailing. You don't want any of that with this team.
You have to go and be efficient on offense, and that defense has to know that, hey, every time we go out there, we don't need like the huge play. You know what I mean with this team. So, but yeah, and we are back. Just finished watching the 2 Monday night games. Well, really just one of them. But
yeah.
Interesting game. Interesting 2 games. We'll go to the Patriots and Niners.
One game.
Interesting one game. Yeah, you're right. Niners, Patriots, though. Yeah. Pretty much exactly what we thought was going to happen.
See preview from a couple days before.
Yeah.
Next game.
If you just listen to that preview, pretty much everything that happened went exactly like we told it was going to happen.
I mean, it was just basically like a dominant team, and the Patriots are just kind of running out of their juice of what they try to live off of in the early season. Running the ball, Ramondre, it's not going so well. When they have to pass the ball, they can't do it. Pass protection can't hold up. Receivers aren't separating enough for them to win down the field, and it's Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Who's maybe like the 32nd quarterback in the league. Yeah. So, in terms of things to actually like look at for the game, because you want to like talk about stuff. Shout out Jordan Mason. I was talking about him before the season. Really big fan of him, and felt like he was stepping and play really well. He might have to do that for extended period of time this season. Juwan Jennings looked really good again. George Kittle looks really good. Ayuk doesn't. Ricky Pearsall, when he steps up, should look good. Other than that, Patriots are probably going to be a 3-4 win team.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep. That's it for that game. We're not going to spend any more time on that.
Fred Warner, sick interception return as well.
Yeah, that was
great play.
That was
maybe the best linebacker in the league.
Definitely.
Did what they should have done, though.
Definitely.
Not much else to say.
Yep. Commanders, Cardinals. This game hurt me to my core.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro. Vent. I'm 0-4 picking Cardinals games now.
Yeah.
Because I did pick them to win in week 1. And they almost
that's
did.
right.
And
yeah.
then Kyler didn't see Marvin open.
Yep.
But,
it's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. I like when we are still paying Cliff to beat our ass. And
are they still paying? Oh, because they give him 5-year deal.
Yes.
Ooh.
We paid Cliff
Dang,
to
you
go
just
in
paid him to
beat us.
To beat you. Wow.
And put up, 42? Yeah. So,
Cardinals.
Kyler, all I'm going to say is this is just a culture-crushing moment for the Cardinals. Like, you have a guy that comes in, everything seems to be going right. You have a tough loss against the Lions, but you felt like you left a lot on the table there.
Yeah.
And then you come into a game against the Commanders team who offensively, yeah, they got players. Like, in my mind,
Jaden's opening up a lot.
Yeah, and he really does look like he's probably the best quarterback in this class. I know that might
4 weeks.
That might hurt
4
you.
weeks.
That might hurt
it's
you.
4 weeks in.
Okay, I'm gonna
he
say
hasn't faced a real test.
Also, I'm gonna stand by my Jaden take.
Giants defense, Cincinnati defense, Cardinals defense, and then he got blown out by the Bucs. Just saying, he hasn't faced a real pass rush yet.
All right, Rainey didn't like that I called him the best quarterback, but
4 weeks in, I will see.
4 weeks in, he's the best quarterback in the rookie class so far.
4 weeks in, yeah, he is.
Yeah, there you go.
Agreed.
There we go.
4 weeks
I
in.
just needed that.
4 weeks in, yeah, I agree.
Agreement. All right, but yeah, they have offensively they're fine. Defensively, they're atrocious. And what Kyler did and how this offense looked after that first drive, because that first drive was amazing. Great pass, great catch.
Yep.
I mean, that was just exactly how you want to draw it up. After that, though, it was just they couldn't really protect Kyler all of a sudden. It was just a bunch of nonsense, really. And it kind of worries me that we couldn't put up a 30-point game against this Commanders defense because of how lowly they are. And
it's a bunch of old guys.
Yeah, it's a bunch of guys
old veterans that they just brought in to hopefully do something on defense. And meanwhile, they're shutting teams down. I mean, like versus Cincinnati, they were shutting down the Bengals for the majority of the half until Jamar had the 2 touchdowns, and then you go into this game and 14 points. It's not like they're having extensive drives where they're just keeping the Cardinals off the field. It's literally just Cardinals didn't do anything all game, you know?
Yep. That's what hurts the most is like...
Outside of the first drive. My bad.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah. This, how do I put this? Like, I think Kyler is the ideal quarterback when everything's going right. And as soon as there's just a little bit of adversity, he just puts his head down and kind of gives up on his team. And that's just, I don't know. He has all the talent and all the skills in the world to be great. I don't know if while he's here, we're probably going to win a Super Bowl. And that kills me to say because I do think there's so much potential with him. But there's something up top where maybe he was bigger, or not bigger, smaller than everybody, but he was always the best athlete on the field. And what?
I was going to make a joke, but it's all right. Go ahead.
Bro, I don't even want to know. But he was always the best athlete on the field, whether it be the baseball field or the football field. And now that he's not, I think he's kind of having a tough time when he does face adversity. And it's like, dude, you are going to have to go through so many ups and downs to win a Super Bowl. You can't let one game or one drive or one bad pass mess that up and put you in a hole the rest of the game. Like, you have to be able to bounce back and answer, like,
mental toughness.
You have to be, mentally tough. And it's just, I don't think he has it. And it pains me to say, but I honestly think I'm not going to call for a trade to Kyler. I know that sounds insane, but
no, it doesn't sound insane because you could probably get a good amount for him because he is as talented as he is.
I would be so open for a trade for Kyler and getting picks back to kind of maybe we go into another, not rebuild, but all right, we're still trying to find our quarterback, but we can build up on picks, and then all of a sudden a quarterback comes out of the draft. Like,
what's up with the guaranteed money?
I don't know. That's a great question.
You have to check out the guaranteed money.
You talk about the game, and I'll grab my computer.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things with the Cardinals that I wish they would do. I don't know if they're going to because I don't really trust the coaching, but I'm really kind of disappointed in the way that rookie running back, what is his name, Trey Benson. I'm really disappointed in the play of Trey Benson so far. I wish they would be able to get more out of him because what the Giants did back in 2021 or 2022 when they went to the playoffs and they had Saquon and Daniel Jones, what they would do is they would stretch the zone run and then be able to play the boot off of that with athletic QB and a really good threat at running back to take the distance, which Trey Benson is. Trey Benson is explosive. Trey Benson is fast. Trey Benson is big and physical to where if you had a zone run where you could stretch the defense, let him hit one cut and go, if you could get Trey Benson going and run some outside zone and really threaten the edges of the defense and let the QB athletic ability play off of the running back threat, that would change the game for the offense. I think that would be something to where this offense is salvageable, but I think that we're not seeing signs of them looking to do that. We're not seeing signs of them having that idea of play with these players. So concerned with that in general, but you got the money for Kyler Murray?
Yeah, let me just write this note down. But yes, the fully guaranteed 105 at signing. $160 million.
Which was 3 years ago.
5 years. So he's good through the 2028 season.
So they're probably going to roll with him next year too.
No, they have to. They have to.
Not going to do a Russell Wilson
No.
and let him go. It's not like that.
No,
You don't have
gonna
Sean Payton as your coach. This guy, Jonathan Gannon's not going to do something like that.
No.
So, yeah, you're stuck with him. So, solution-wise, there is a solution. You have to get Trey Benson going. You have to run the outside zone. You have to be able to stretch and scare a defense with the threat of speed outside. And then with that, then you can bounce the QB off of it and try to use his mobility more, use some options. But Trey Benson has to be a player. If Trey Benson's not a player, you're going to be able to keep Kyler in the pocket. You're going to be able to contain this offense, which when you keep Kyler in the pocket, there was a play last week when they were playing the Lions, and it was Marvin Harrison running across the field in a crossing route. He was open for about like half the field when he was running it.
Yeah.
And then Kyler moves around in the pocket and then sees him. He is a shorter quarterback. I don't think he can see over the line either. Different athlete than Bryce Young. But I think the line of sight thing is also an issue to where you got to be able to be mobile, and teams keeping him in the pocket and him trying to dance around all day doesn't work all season long.
Yeah, and that hurts me to say, but he does struggle sometimes with seeing, which is
He didn't see Marvin Harrison on that play.
I know exactly.
I noticed that.
I know exactly what play you're talking about.
He threw it late, and then Marvin got hit right when he caught it.
Yep.
But he was wide open and could have had a catch and run if he saw him earlier.
Yep. And there's another play. I don't know if I think it might have been last week too, where it might have been the same play, but it was same thing, rolling, and then all of a sudden he sees Marvin, and Marvin's kind of like almost looking around like about to do a scramble drill, but then realizes I'm not even being covered at all. And he just kind of like turns around and was like puts his hands up. I'm not sure if that was the same like type
I'm not
of deal.
sure. It was on that play that I'm talking about. Marvin was running a crossing route, and on that crossing route, he was running for half of the field wide open with nobody around him, and then all of a sudden Kyler danced around in the pocket and saw Marvin's hair, and Marvin standing on the sideline, and then hit him. So you definitely know that like this line of sight thing is an issue.
Yes.
So it's like you have to be able to threaten more with his legs, and I don't know if they're maximizing that, but I think with a rushing threat like Trey Benson, who they drafted, I think you could get the most out of that. But solution-wise, there's not a lot of them. You need Trey Benson to be a player.
Yeah, and we got to get that defense sorted out with other.
Defense is going to be bad all season long. There's no solutions there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking long term. I think if you
this season.
Yeah. If you go after some edges in this draft who are good, that I like a lot. Depending on where we finish at the end of the season, I think we might be a little bit out of range. Depends on if we're like a 9-win team or a 6-win team.
They're going to be around 8, give or take.
So
8, give or take.
So they're probably going to be like around like 13 or 14 overall picks. So
around there.
Yeah. So
around 14.
There's going to be some guys there, but it's not going to be like the top of the line guys. So
you're looking at a year, maybe 2, before the Cardinals can be like top of the line competitive.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Browns.
Washington really quick. I want to touch on Washington. Jaden looked great. I think that his legs, they're maximizing his legs with how they're opening up the offense. He looks like Lamar Jackson when Lamar is comfortable and able to sit and pass. And, I mean, the maturity in his game where he's taking checkdowns, he's protecting himself, he's running when he needs to, he's extending plays and looking downfield. Like the way he's handling the blitz, he doesn't look like a rookie QB. Over 80 completion percentage through the first 4 games, never been done before. Not surprised. I mean, it's just like he's very mature, very comfortable, very composed. And we'll see when he gets tested by tougher defenses, which the Bears play him in a couple weeks. So we'll see.
That'll be good.
That'll be a good test for him because we need to see him versus an actual front 7 that'll get after him, and also DBs that'll challenge. He hasn't seen that yet.
You're not seeing the Cardinals have a good front 7, bro? What the fuck?
Nah, dude. They're what's his name was out.
They suck.
What's his name was out? The D tackle, bro. They missed him.
Freaking.
Yeah, the guy was the guy who just came from the Bears who gave like $30 million to. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about. Justin Jones.
Yes.
Dude, they missed Justin Jones.
Yeah. Dude, of course. He's the answer, duh.
That's why it's a blowout.
Yeah, of course. All right. Well,
next game.
Yeah, next game. Bro, Browns Raiders.
I mean, this game was gross. It reminds
me of the Giants Cowboys game. Like just icky.
I mean, it was it was just gross. You don't really want to watch it. I mean, Zamir White tried to give the game away at the end. I mean, they're trying to run out the clock up 10, and he just fumbles, and they return it for a touchdown. It's like, what are you doing? And then the Raiders tried to give the game away on that. Amari Cooper wide open call back on the holding call on an offensive line, and it's just good for the Raiders for getting to the win. Think Devontae's getting traded over the next couple weeks. He doesn't want to have Gardner throwing the ball or Aiden O'Connell. Doesn't matter. He's a Raider fan growing up. I don't think it matters. He wants to win.
Yeah.
Zamir White did not look good again. Alexander Madison is their top back right now, and that's not a good look. I liked Madison coming out of Boise, but he's not been who I thought he could be. So, yeah. I don't really know what to talk about with this game. Oh, Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker looked really good. I thought Trey Tucker looked good. He looks like a legit player and piece moving forward that they did draft, that is a part of a functioning offense. But in terms of just the offense as a whole, I mean, this is the first time they've been able to run the ball on the ground, and it's just whatever. It's against the Browns. Defensive regression, it happens. Defense looks like it's regressing a little bit from years prior. So if that's the case, this Browns team does not have much to look forward to in this season, even if Nick Chubb does come back.
Yeah, they have to play Jameis. They have to play Jameis out there, and
they got around week 6 by that. I think by then they'll have him or not.
They just, if you're the Browns, like, you have talent. Like, there's no doubt about it, you have talent on this team.
Jerry Jeudy's getting going.
Oh my gosh, I don't rate him at all. But maybe, I don't know. Something about him I just don't like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater.
He's that modern number 2. I mean, if you're talking about number 2s. He does fit that Devontae Smith and that at Jordan Addison role. Yeah. He is very much of that, but wasn't drafted to be that. Hasn't been that so far.
Yeah, it's just Jameis needs to play, and Deshaun, I don't care. Like, I feel like that one game where he played decent. Was it last week or the week before that?
That bought him enough.
Yeah,
time.
It bought him enough time.
Bought him a couple games,
and it was like, okay. When you get to this level, a quarterback can have a good game, but it's like, what's going to happen over the course of a season? Like, you have to make a change before it gets really out of hand. You're 1-3 right now.
They're just playing him off of investment.
But it doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, when you pay him fully guaranteed, it's a 5-year deal. It does.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro. If
the play on the field doesn't match the investment or back why they should play him.
All I'm saying is the Broncos are 2-2, and the Browns are 1-3, and
Sean Payton.
The Browns are 10 times the team on paper than the Broncos are. But
I think the Browns are a little overrated. I think they kind of missed their opportunity last year. With I think if they were ever going to meet their potential, Deshaun would have been good last year, and they would have had a chance last year with the first year of Zadarius Smith and with Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year, and the way that defense was playing last year. I think this team's going downhill with all the investment they've made. They kind of went all in with the Watson deal and contract, and I don't really have much optimism in terms of full direction of this team.
Yeah.
Hey, Raiders 2-2.
Yeah, this game makes me sick. Let's go to the Chiefs and Chargers.
Hey, that's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't like that spread.
You were right. You were right.
Yeah, this Chiefs team is not. I'm gonna say it right now. They're not three-peating.
Yeah, let's.
They're not.
Hey,
they're not three-peating.
They're not three-peating.
They're
I
not
like that.
And they're losing next week on Monday Night Football to the Saints and Derek Carr.
I don't know about that, but
5-point favorites is insane. Anyway, we're gonna keep going on this game right now, but they're losing next week.
All right.
They should not be 3-0. They could be. I mean, they were down 0-10 through the majority of the game versus this rebuilding Chargers team without their top 2 tackles. It's
and
like
Joey Bosa.
And Joey Bosa. It's like, yeah, dude, this Chargers team or Chiefs team has kind of been sliding through the first couple weeks of the season. They're facing a real team next week. In this game, though, I mean, you just hang around long enough, and the Chargers are going to beat themselves. They're not a very good team. They're in the first year of a rebuild, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really have anything too deep in the notes on this game. It was very much on par with what I expected of it. Mahomes taking out Rashee Rice, tragic.
That is
Travis
brutal.
Kelce had some production this game, but I mean, he
Finally.
still looks fat and whipped.
Yeah.
Worthy had a big catch, but now he's the number one receiver.
Yeah.
And I
that's a
mean,
problem.
Kareem Hunt came back, and Kareem Hunt looks fat and slow. I mean,
Yeah.
just like this, I don't see. And Carson Steele, he's not the guy. He does not look. He's an undrafted fullback. I mean, if you have him like where you're just changing up the pace, putting him in, cool. Starter,
He's not that.
no. So you bring in Kareem Hunt. So it's just like I don't see any way this team wins in the playoffs with the way they look right now.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Other than somebody else wanting them to win.
Exactly. I was
There's
just gonna say.
the only way they win anything is if somebody else wants them to win.
Who's that?
I'll put it up
Say
for your
it.
guys' interpretation.
Say it.
I'll put it up for the interpretation of the
I'm
of
gonna
the
say it.
folks.
It's the fucking NFL and the refs. I'm telling you right
There's
now.
there's the only way that they actually win anything. This team on paper sucks.
Yeah, and
This team sucks.
with Rashee Rice going down, I won't lie. You could persuade me to believe that once playoff time hits, this team with Rashee Rice healthy could make some noise, and like if that
With Rasheed.
with
But
exactly
without Rasheed or
Exactly.
Marquise Brown,
or Amari Cooper, who they're gonna trade for in the next week or two.
I don't think the Browns are trading him. I think they want to get the most out of Deshaun.
Well, good luck with that because they're not winning shit, and they might as well get something back. Because I'm telling you right
Browns
now,
are just desperate for anything. They're not going to sell
I'm with you with
when
Chiefs.
they got him
though.
for a fifth.
Yeah, I know. It hurts
It's
my
a
eyes
dream.
watching him. But the Chiefs are 4-0. They might be the most fraudulent 4-0 team of all time.
Actually, I watched the Bears go 5-0 a few years ago
You're
with
right.
Nick Foles and Mitchell Trubisky, and
You
they
are
beat
right.
Tom Brady in that span when Tom Brady won the Super Bowl that year. So I've watched a more fraudulent 5-0 team. Hashtag Nick Foles run to the L and Anthony Miller.
I stand corrected. Second most fraudulent 4-0 team. They,
That's the most fraudulent 5-0 team I've ever seen in my entire
I
life.
forgot that
They
even
finished
happened.
8-8.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, 5-0 they started though.
Let's go. That's
They were
what
probably at the top of the power rankings and stuff like that because they had an undefeated record.
I think that's when the Cardinals back in like 2017.
And they went 9-0.
Yeah, and they finished what
11-5. 11-5.
Nah, but I'm talking about like before that. It might have been like 2014 and 2015. They started like 4-0.
They started 4-0
Yeah.
and finished 4-12.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like John Skelton that year or
Yeah.
something like that. It was
So
Patrick
sick.
Peterson return touchdowns.
Yep.
That was lit.
Yep. Reminiscing here because
Boom,
I
boom.
fucking hate
I mean, this game
the
sucks.
Chiefs. Yeah, this game. There were some shitter games this week. I won't lie. It wasn't the most exciting week for NFL, but
I mean, it just felt like Travis Kelce's corpse was out there moving around,
Yeah,
and they just
bro.
threw him the ball, and it's just the Chargers are not good.
yeah, Chargers.
The Chargers are a 5-6 win team this year.
Yeah, Taylor Swift wasn't at the game. Damn shame.
That's why Travis Kelce could focus.
Maybe, bro.
That's why he was locked in. He's like, damn, I know she's at home with all my family
Yeah,
watching the game. I got to go ball out.
yeah.
Anyway,
Big size. I don't want to talk about this game anymore. Let's go to the Sunday night game, which was actually kind of
closer than the score.
closer than the
score
score.
showed.
in my opinion. And I don't know. With this game, Josh Allen, I'm going to take it back to one play in the game where I think it changed. It's the trick play where Curtis Samuel messes up the pitch, kind of hangs it up in the air too long. Josh Allen has to deal with it, tries to unload down the field, gets strip sacked by Kyle Van Noy, and the whole momentum of the game changed. It was 21-10 at that point. Bills were driving. At that point, you probably thought they're going to score every drive the way they were playing offense at that point. And they turned the ball over, and the Ravens just took that and just ran with it the rest of the game. Literally ran with it.
Literally.
So, yeah, the run game for the Ravens was the talk of the game.
From the first play,
Literally.
first snap of their offensive game.
The first play, Derrick Henry took it, 87 yards for a touchdown?
Oh, yeah.
So
Crazy how DBs can't catch a dude that big. Like
Yes,
he's a
bro.
freak athlete.
He is insane. And there's another play where he kind of used his blocker in a way where you don't expect a 6'4" guy with like 260. You know which play I'm talking about?
I know exactly the play where
Yes.
he took it for like 50 in
Yep.
the end in the second half. Yeah,
Yes.
this is what Jonathan Taylor does. Him and Jonathan Taylor does this really well also, where he sets up his blockers. He'll press a hole and then bounce it right outside, and then set his blocker up for a better block.
100% right.
Yeah, Derrick Henry did a great job with that on that play. And I mean, it just shows veteran in what's the word? It's
Savvy.
no, it's not savvy, man. It's instinct. It's just veteran instinct within a running back to be able to make a move like that. They've played it their whole lives. He just feels it and then bounces. You know, it's like it doesn't take much of a study or anything like that to do it.
Yeah.
Henry and
That's a
Taylor
good
though are
comparison.
really impressive with that though.
Taylor did that last week to your Bears. Did that.
He's been doing it all season.
Yeah.
Like I've been super impressed with Jonathan Taylor and the way that he's running the ball this week or this season.
Yeah. This Ravens team does look.
Shout out Kyle Van Noy though. Kyle Van Noy is kind of a good player.
Yeah, bro. He's having like
Versatile.
a rejuvenated career here in Baltimore.
Yeah, he played with the Dolphins for a little bit. Him and
Patriots.
Van Ginkel, I get messed up, man.
Yeah.
They're both like the same type of dude where like they rush off the edge, they drop into coverage, they always get picks, and it's like these like Patriots, Dolphins, versatile players. Like I love these guys. They're so much fun to watch.
They are fun to watch, and the Ravens do look like if they play like this every game with how effective Derrick Henry's on the ground and actually feeding him the ball with having Justice Hill coming out of the backfield and making people miss. This is a Ravens team where I can see making some noise in the playoffs if they stick with the damn run, unlike last year where they just completely aborted it, you know?
There's a few things about this game that I think stood out with the Ravens and also the Bills' defense. This is the second time this season now we've seen the Bills kind of struggle against a QB who's mobile, where they struggled against Kyler a bit, and then they struggled against Lamar. With Lamar, they specifically could not get after him. There was pockets for days where he could literally just stand in there. They were playing 7-on-7 out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to rush the Ravens and these mobile quarterbacks a certain way to where you can't just run around the edge and have Von Miller bend like that. You have to be able to rush, contain, and keep your lane disciplined to where if you don't, your quarterback will take off and convert every third down.
Yeah.
So, like, you have to play a certain way against these mobile QBs, and this is the thing that I'm kind of noting off of this game. But when you're able to run the ball and be a threat rushing as well from the QB position, that Bills defense was just off balance, and Lamar had all day to throw.
Yeah.
But that was the one thing, and then also what was the other? Justice Hill was really impressive as well, for sure. This is kind of a weird game, though, where, like, the Ravens haven't pass protected well throughout the season, but this game, the Bills just could not get after Lamar all game.
Yeah, this Bills kind of came back to earth, I think. I think they're playing out of their minds through the first 3 weeks, and they came into Baltimore against a Baltimore team where notoriously they've been prone to giving up leads and kind of taking their foot off the gas, and I think Lamar and everyone on that team heard that and was like, dude, I don't care how many points we get up, we're going to keep going. And they kept running the football, kept scoring.
If this was the Bills team from last year, I think that Bills team from last year could beat this team because I think that they don't have the downfield threats that they needed to be able to come back in a game like this. They were kind of trying to give Keon Coleman some chances downfield, and they had two back shoulders to him, but the jump balls, he doesn't have the ball skills for that. He doesn't use his size well. And then Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox were non-factors in this game. If you're going to be able to have a better passing offense, you have to be able to get guys like that going with the personnel they have because you can't rely on Shakir. You can't rely on back shoulders to Keon Coleman. You can't rely on Mac Hollins beating a defender downfield. There's a reason why he's been a special teamer throughout his career for the most part. You know, you need Dalton Kincaid. You need Dawson Knox to be bigger factors in the offense. Kincaid had a big drop in there too, and it's just they need to get more out of some of the talent they have on field, and which I think they will.
Yeah, Kincaid's been very oddly quiet. I think at the end of last season,
it's weird.
You saw a ton of usage from him, and then all of a sudden, either they don't have him as a key component of the offense, like trying to get him the ball in terms of play calling,
Maybe
or
Josh doesn't trust him. It could be as simple as
I
that.
don't know if it's that. I just think maybe the defense is kind of taking him away and making the others beat them. I don't know. I'll have to watch the film back, but he's not, like you said, he's not a factor at all. Dawson Knox, they have two very good tight ends, and they're both kind of being.
You can scheme a guy like that though. I mean, like
Yeah.
you can scheme passes underneath to where you can just get him catches, and they're just not even getting catches.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. What's the answer for the Bills going forward? What do you think?
It's got to be Kincaid and Dawson Knox
Okay.
being bigger factors of the offense because they don't have the down the field options, and you're not going to make an in-season trade to fix that. You have a lot of these lateral guys where they have short area quickness with Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. You like what you see from James Cook, but you have to be able to move the sticks in other ways to keep the offense on the field, and also have to be able to threaten downfield a little bit. I think Keon Coleman not being able to be a contested catch guy for them hurts. But it's just you need more from the tight ends, I think, in this offense if you're actually going to be able to win games like this. Because the game was closer, but with Kincaid and Knox being non-factors, it didn't matter. I know you got Kyle Hamilton and you got Roquan being able to kind of take away the middle of the field a little bit, but you got to do better. You got to be able to get them the ball.
Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams is going to the Saints.
What if he went to the Bills?
He's going to the Saints.
What if he went to the Bills?
He's not going there because they drafted Keon Coleman.
What if? I'm telling you.
If he went there,
Yeah.
I don't think it would be the same as if he went to the Saints because Derek Carr and Devontae already have chemistry. They've already played with each other for years. I think if you trade him in season to a guy like Josh Allen in an offense that he's not going to have any idea how to get into off the bat, it's different. I don't think it would make sense to make a trade like that. I'd be surprised if they did personally. I think they're okay with taking this season and just seeing where the guys what they have will take them.
All right.
I'd be surprised if
That's
they
fair.
traded for a receiver. I don't think they're all in.
I just want to see your opinion on that, but
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I don't think they're making a trade. I
Alright.
think they're going to ride with the guys they got and see how far they can take them.
Ride the guys. Pause. We'll go to Titans and Dolphins, which will probably take about 2 minutes.
Maybe less.
Probably less.
I like the Dolphins playing Huntley. I mean, like, at least it's like variance. You know, like you got like random big plays in there. He can run a little bit, give you something to watch. You're not really getting that with Skylar Thompson or I can't even remember his Tim Boyle. I hate watching Tim Boyle play football. I mean, like I said that last week. I don't ever want to see Tim Boyle on an NFL starting field ever again. He's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. Backups. He's a clipboard holder. He's literally like Chase Daniel, but worse. I'm happy that they got whatever his name in there. I wish they would just sign Tannehill, have the humility to bring him back and let him come back to where he got drafted into the league and let him roll with this team because at least you'd have a shot at something. Will Levis, just the human, what are those things? Not ragdoll, but the crash dummy. He's a human crash dummy. He's just throwing his body all over the place and getting hurt.
Yeah.
Not surprised. He's going to do it again. Dude's kind of goofy for that. Tajay Spears was trying to ruin your day in fantasy with that wildcat where he juked, what's his name, 92 for the Dolphins.
I almost crashed out like Will Levis, bro. I won't lie. When he scored that, at that point,
man.
I think I was down 2. But
Yeah. Tajay Spears was trying to ruin your night for sure.
But
His only touchdown of the season coming again once my dad had to start him out of desperation. That was hilarious.
Hey.
But, I mean, Titans, though, Tony Pollard looks good. Everything else?
not.
No.
Yep.
They are
That's
probably
pretty
a
much it.
5-6 win team, and the Dolphins, Tua comes back. I don't think they're very good either.
Nope.
I mean, they don't look good at all.
I don't
Defense does not look good.
think this Dolphins team.
This is like a 6-7 win. It's like a 7-win team.
Yeah, and
maybe
it's sad because coming into the season they had so many expectations about like, all right,
they
maybe
get overhyped though. They
every
get overhyped.
every year because of the talent they have on offense.
Yeah, it's because
But-
people see Tyreek, the name Tyreek, and the speed, and they make McDaniel, but it's like it's Tua.
Yeah.
I don't like Tua, and I don't like the defense too much either. I don't
And,
like the way they're playing.
They concussed permanently concussed to a
Permanently concussed, bro's perma-concussed.
Probably.
That's insane.
Yeah. But this Titans team, this is the perfect example of why you don't rush a rebuild. Titans all of a sudden they they panicked and they were like, "Well, we might have something here with Will Levis. Let's try to put some pieces around him."
He had some good plays,
dude.
But he's white Jameis, like we've kind of talked about.
You can't win with him. Actually, you can win maybe a few games. You can't. You can't You can't look at me in the eyes and be like, Will Levis is our Super Bowl quarterback.
Oh no! I mean, when you're talking about like, I mean, that's kind of like what I feel about with the Cowboys. You know, it's like,
yeah.
Well, that's how I feel like with the Cowboys. It's like when you are running an organization, you have a team. It's like you have to be able to like look at your quarterback and say, yeah, I can see a world where we win a Super Bowl with this quarterback. And you're not saying that with Will Levis. They wanted to see what they could get out of him. They blow it up in the offseason and get the guys they want. I mean, you have Calvin Ridley, who didn't look bad. He hasn't looked bad this year. He's actually looked pretty good. But, I mean, Hopkins is gone. The running backs will stay. They've built some offensive lineup over the past offseason or two. Defensively, they got some trenches to mess around with that actually might be good. And they just traded for L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
They're not in a horrible position to be okay next year, but they're 2-3 years away.
And they also they paid a bunch of people. I don't know. I don't really see.
I think they're about 2-3 away, 2-3 years away.
I mean,
2 years away from being able to be in the playoffs and scare somebody. Yeah. 3 years away from being a Super Bowl team.
Maybe I'm just a salty Cardinals fan, but I don't see it.
Talking about that Washington Cardinals game got you messed up.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it, to be honest. Let's go to the actual entertaining game tonight. Seahawks-Lions just got done like 30 minutes ago.
Yes.
Lot to kind of unbox here, I think. There's a lot going on.
Goff, perfect night. We were looking it up, and apparently it's only the second time that's happened.
Yep.
Kurt Warner was the other time, 10 for 10, but Goff was 18 for 18 for about almost 300 and touchdown or two.
Yeah.
With the receiving touchdown.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Probably.
What did the Lions chant? Jared Goff. Yeah.
I don't know if
they were chanting that all night.
I know Kyler had a perfect pass rating
Perfect pass rating. Wasn't perfect completion percentage, though.
Yeah, but what else could be a perfect passer rating?
I mean, the 158.3 is the perfect passer rating, but I think I heard them say he had 155.8. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but I mean, he literally had a perfect completion percentage, almost 300 yards, touchdown. Let's talk about that David Montgomery truck, though. Dude, David Montgomery, talk about heartbeat of the team. He is the engine of this team. He makes that team go. He puts the ball in the end zone once, I think maybe twice. I think he did it once. Amon-Ra scored. Gibbs scored. Jameson scored. Laporta played. I didn't think he was going to, but he played. I think the Seahawks, if they had their interior guys, I think this might have been a little bit of a different game. I think they really missed Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams both being out in a game like this. I think if they meet again, it could be a little bit different. But you don't expect Goff to have this type of night where he literally did not miss a pass all night. Yeah. Some were incomplete because of penalties, but both QBs played really well. Kenneth Walker went crazy tonight.
He's
definitely a top 5, top 6 running back in the league right now. Super explosive, big physical guy. He kind of makes that offense go, puts them over the edge with the running back or the receivers they have. DK Metcalf. Who can cover him?
No one.
I mean, he had that Carlton Davis where they did that solo cam on his face. That was hilarious, bro.
That was funny.
He was just fed up trying to cover him with the pass interference.
Which he did catch on that sideline. He did catch that.
He did catch what? Oh, that 2-point conversion. 100% 2-point conversion complete. But, I mean, I don't think this is like a scare game for either team. I think it was just a when you get them type of game, and they got them without the 2 interior guys that are big difference makers for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, if they play the Lions again, it'll be different.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if the Seahawks get a score with 2 minutes left, it was like 2:08 or whatever in the fourth quarter. Center snaps it because he had to. Play clock was going down. Geno was looking over at the sideline. The right guard was looking back at Geno, and all 3 receivers on the right side were looking at Geno too, and all of a sudden the ball snapped. And it's like it's a broken play on 4th and goal, which is the game basically.
That was fun.
That's
messed up.
That's a tough way to end the game if you're Geno. I think if they convert that, right?
Yeah.
They do have the 2-minute warning and 2 timeouts. So if they hold them, don't let them get a first down. They get the ball back. maybe something happens. But woulda, shoulda, coulda, and Lions get away with the win here. You touched on Jared Goff's. He had 155.8, not a perfect passer rating. So I don't know what in God's earth there could be a passer. Maybe you need a rushing touchdown too. He had two.
It don't matter. He went off tonight. He had a great night. I think who went off though was actually Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson got back to their identity, and they realized who they are. They tried to mess around a little bit too much early on. They got back to the play action off the run game, and Ben Johnson was in his bag tonight for sure.
100%. Ben Johnson
Lions
finally is figuring it out, and this is the Lions team that we picked to win the Super Bowl. This team tonight.
This is the team,
and those
for sure.
Sexy black uniforms with the blue helmets.
They were pretty cool.
They were tough, bro.
They were pretty cool.
I kept talking.
I think most all black uniforms are pretty tough.
Yeah, I was like fangirling about the unis. I probably said it like 8 times. Randy was probably pissed off.
I like my girlfriend. Every time I try to get her to watch football, she's like, "Oh, I like these uniforms."
All right, don't ever do that again. But yeah,
That's
I
true.
kind of did sound like a girl.
You're like, "Ooh, these uniform colors are so cool."
Uniform was tough. That's the 9th time I'll say it, and that's the last time. All right, but yeah, they did get back to their identity. This is the Lions team that we picked, and on picks this week, we finally got it right. We both combined, we went over 500.
Your picks, you went 11. You got 11 though.
11-5 for me, 8-8 for you. That goes to 26-22 for me, and 20-28 for you. So we're getting better. All right, well, I'm not saying we're perfect, but by the end of the year, I believe that we're both going to be positive, and I think that's a successful season.
Oh yeah.
So, hey, next year
Boom.
we're going 16-0 every week, but until then,
Exactly.
we're trying to get over 500. But
We're locked in right now.
Anything else you want to touch on this game?
I am concerned with the Lions' pass defense. I think we've seen multiple games now where they have struggled, whether it's getting after the quarterback outside of Aiden Hutchinson, which he didn't do it. He didn't take over the game this game, so here we go. The defensive backs, Terrion Arnold is struggling. Penalty machine.
Yep.
Carlton Davis, he had his struggles tonight as well against a big physical receiver. I think when this defense is tested versus the pass, they do struggle. It's just if their offense can put up 45 every week, they're going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that I think that the game was a little different because the D tackles for the Seahawks were out. I do think that Ben Johnson had a great game. But you're not going to expect this every week. And we'll see as the season goes on if they stay true to their identity and who they are. I think they should. They've shown in their past, the history, that this is what they should do. The play-action game was elite with Jamison Williams running the crossers. When the Seahawks scored and made it close to play action, bam, Jamison taking it 70 yards straight away.
Yeah.
I loved that play call. That was perfect timing to punch him right back in the mouth after they had scored and made it close again. It was just a really impressive game overall from the Lions. Anytime your team puts up 40, you're going to be happy. But a little scary, though, with the Seahawks and the way they were able to move the ball on that defense.
Yeah, Gino played out of his mind, too. I told Randy when we were watching the game together, Gino looked great. There were some times where he got out of the pocket and ran. I was like, damn, I did not know Gino was that fast. But
hey, he had a 30-yard touchdown in week 1, bro.
I didn't see that. Maybe I'm just blind, but I don't know. I just saw him get out of the pocket.
Got sneaky speed.
Yeah, he's got a little juice to him. But this Seahawks team is going to be fine, I think.
Yeah.
When they get those guys back, they're probably the best team in the NFC West, which hurts me to say.
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
We'll see. Yeah.
They play the Niners in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in San Fran. I hope it is, just for the sake of matchups, just so we can see. But they play the Niners pretty soon here, so we'll find out.
We'll see. But
Rams
Gino
and
played out
Cardinals
of his
aren't
mind.
competing with him.
Yeah. All right. You're right. I know it sucks, but it's Kyler, man. Well, maybe he bounces back next week. But yeah, I think that kind of wraps up our week 4 recap. I appreciate you guys listening. Randy, as always, pleasure doing business with you.
Yes, sir.
Our picks are getting better.
Gotta
I'm
get right.
happy about that.
Yeah, way better.
But
Gotta lock it in, bro.
yeah, we gotta lock in. But Be sure to follow the Instagram and TikTok at Let's Talk Ball _podcast for both of those. Give it a follow, like, hit the subscribe button, smash that.
Smash the subscribe button,
Smash it,
smash the bell icon, smash the like buttons, smash.
A lot of smash. Appreciate that was a great way to end the episode. But appreciate you guys listening again. We'll I should be getting my college football recap out either today or tomorrow, whenever you guys are hearing this. And then we'll get back with that review or preview on Thursday for week 5.
Saints are beating the Chiefs on Monday night.
And hopefully Randy can get his first Thursday night pick right.
Let's go.
But you guys are going to have to wait to see.
Going Bucs, baby.
Yeah, all right. Well, fuck me. He gave a little sneak peek. But, yeah, appreciate you guys listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.